Hi, welcome to the SDP. It's been 20 years since the Sailor Moon anime first aired in Japan, breaking the glass ceiling for a new generation of superheroes. I have to say, I was a fan, even if I had to hide it from my friends. And by friends I mean parents. Being a dude, I had a different mindset whilst watching this show. Like, why don't the heroes use more unarmed martial arts fighting? It seems they're way more dependent on their magical finishers, am I right?
Well, as if to rectify this issue, they made a versus fighter using the Sailor Moon license. Two, in fact. And these are only some of the Sailor Moon licensed video games to hit the Super Famicom across multiple genres.
They made what now?
Oh right, I forgot, they were only sold in Japan.
Of course. If you've ever felt despair about how America hasn't shown quite enough interest to get all the Moony goodies, then skip the middleman and start importing. Let me point you in the right direction by discussing the fighting game based on Sailor Moon S.
But wait, you say? How am I supposed to run this game on an American Super NES console? Well, let's take a break to answer your concern. While the Super NES lacks the software-based region lockout between Japan and North America, there is a physical lockout mechanism. To show you the difference, let's take an American Super NES game pack, like, I don't know, Super Mario World. Incidentally, one of my favorite games ever. Now, American game packs are wider than Super Famicom cassettes and have two grooves cut out in the back corners of the case. These grooves fit in with two tabs built into the Super NES's cartridge bay. Try to plug in a Japanese cassette here and the tabs will block it. So what you can do is pull out these tabs with a pair of pliers and or other tools, being very careful not to damage the cartridge input slot. You can also get purpose-built adapters like the Honeybee. Better still, certain aftermarket consoles like the Retro Duo come with the tabs already taken out, so you're good to go out of the box.
Back to the game at hand. Now, this is its full title. And this is what it translates to. So yeah, I'm just gonna stick to Sailor Moon S for short.
The modes available are Story, Versus, the 8-player tournament, and Training. Since it's based on the third season where the Outer Scouts were introduced, they're playable in this game as well, except for Sailor Saturn.
She couldn't make it because she had a little run-in with the plot.
As per the full title, the story mode depicts the Scouts fighting amongst themselves to determine who should be their new leader.
That's it? No monsters or anything? You're not even going to rehash the show's storyline? I mean, who were the villains from Season 3? Professor Tomoe?
Mr. Nine? Pharaoh 90?
Why can't we fight them?
Instead, our final boss is Sailor Uranus, one of the new Outer Scouts and the world's most famous lesbian. But what's up with her legs? When she's standing still, they just keep moving. It's like she's got legs, but she doesn't know how to use them. That's just the latest exercise craze to come out of Tokyo. Shame it has a nasty tendency to sap your energy. If you'll excuse me, I have to make a few calls.
But the game does innovate the versus fighter genre in other ways.
One big example of this is the Attribute Customize system, wherein you can improve your fighter's stats before starting a game. Since the computer uses the ACS whether or not you do, neglecting to do so can be a major handicap. But since the whole thing's in Japanese, I'll describe the categories for you. Elemental Strength increases the damage of most attacks. The question mark increases the damage of the Desperation attack, a super move available when you're at low health or the timer reads under 10 seconds. Defense reduces the damage you take. Playfulness increases the chance that your moves will fail, unlike the other attributes, increasing this as a handicap against you. Physical Strength increases the damage of your basic and some special attacks. And Life increases your starting health bar past 100%. In addition, the control scheme has two settings: Manual, where you trigger special attacks with Street Fighter-style input combos, or Auto, where you hold L or R and press the face button to do the same. It feels incredibly cheap to pull out specials without having memorized the inputs, especially since there's no limit to how much you can use them. Ever heard of the series Art of Fighting? Well, it had a cooldown meter which weakened special attacks the more they were used. At the risk of ruining it for everyone else, I wish more fighting games implemented limits like that.
And despite all being little women, the Sailor Scouts in this game are pleasantly distinct.
You've got balanced types like Sailor's Moon and Venus, the faster and weaker Mercury, and the slower and stronger Jupiter and Uranus. Some of the inputs, and even the moves themselves, are ripped straight out of Street Fighter 2.
Hadouken! Big bad kick! Yoda fire! Tiger! Get over here!
The heck? I thought this was a Street Fighter montage. Get out of here.
And then there's Sailor Mini-Moon, who at half the height of the other characters can dodge some attacks without even trying. Oddjob says hi.
The art style used in this game looks true to its origins. Then again, so are many other anime-themed or licensed games from the 16-bit era. And on a technical level, there's nothing much to get excited over. The most visually impressive stage is Sailor Pluto's, and it doesn't even use any Mode 7 techniques.
The music is lighthearted fare that I'm glad didn't get stuck in my head. Voice clips recorded by the show's cast are also present. Forgive me if I'm not well versed enough to tell the actresses apart, but I do appreciate them going the extra mile in this regard. I do have to give a wag of the finger to the clip Sailor Mercury says when she launches her bubble attack. Made even worse since the computer has a tendency to spam that attack.
For a versus fighter from the mid-1990s, Sailor Moon S is a well-featured package. Things like the ACS and the auto-control scheme make this accessible to any novice gamers you might be able to rope into playing with you, while still adding some much-appreciated depth.
Now, they also made a sequel to this particular game based on the 4th season, Super S, but it's a good deal rarer and more expensive to find online, and it's pretty much the same besides, apart from the inclusion of Sailor Saturn. If you're ready to strike out into import gaming and have an interest in the source material, either one of the Sailor Moon fighters would be a good game to whet your interest with. Sailor Moon S and Super S both score 75%, a B-.
This is Kevin, with Ichigo, and you are the Resistance.